Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here. I'm Ariel.
And Shia.
Leap
Yes.
into life.
Yes. Don't just step in. Don't just
wander
in. Leap into your life.
Why not? Because boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And it's really true.
It really is.
You know, when you really go for something, you get all sorts of answers. If you kind of like fumper your way in.
Well, you get benefits too.
You do? Yes. Speaking to my friend with benefits here.
Yes.
Yes. Bold is good.
Bold is very good.
Oh, let's listen today. We have a couple of amazing guests on. Guests you should listen to. I just called you amazing. Now, you can either
argue with us that you're not really amazing.
You can get caught by the fact that we finish each other's sentences, or you can listen.
Listening is key. You know, listening isn't agreeing or disagreeing with what's being said. Listening isn't about trying to get your agenda or being right. Listening is hearing what another person has to say from their point of view as though they are correct. How's that? That was good.
I like that. You said something about your agendas, and I realized that we're saying leap into life, not leap into your agenda. So in a way, you have to suspend your agenda
to see what life has to offer
and trust yourself. The agenda often works itself out in the background.
You know, your life shows up perfectly in each moment. The only thing that seems to be off is it doesn't agree with what you want. Life doesn't care. You know, that's one of those funny things.
And sometimes when it agrees with what you want, you think you're doing well.
Right.
And then when it doesn't agree, you think you're not doing well.
That's
rather
right.
than life happens.
Exactly.
So let's leap into it with our first guest, shall we?
Yes, please.
Elka, welcome to being here. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, Ariel and Shia. I'm Elke, and I'm zooming in from Hamburg, Germany.
Yay! Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to call in, to leap in being here.
Nice.
And
what can
I have a question or something which is occupying me since some weeks or now longer. I told you some weeks ago that I was asked to write a book. A publisher asked me to write a book about sex, for sex of older people. Is it? Can I translate it like that?
Sure.
And I'm a I have been a gynecologist. I still am a gynecologist for all my lifetime, or a lot of my lifetime, and now I'm working as a sexual therapist. And as I'm 74, and as I started with menopause, with counseling mostly women in their menopause, and then more and more couples, I became a little known for my topic, caring for elderly people. And when I got this offer, I asked you, and Ariel, you told me why you write books. You told me because you have fun. That's what I remember. And I had to decide what to do. And during days, I leaped in and out of my life. I mean, I thought, why did they ask me? Now I have to decide. Why do I have the time? Can I do it? And after a sudden moment, I had a decision. I made a summary for this book and I sent it to the publisher, and they gave me yesterday a feedback that they like it and they would like that I do it. But why I'm telling this is it was really horrible to come to this decision.
Well, can I mention something?
Yeah.
When you say it was horrible to come to this decision, please forgive me, but I think the horror or the difficulty comes from your incredible dishonesty with yourself. Because in the moment we all had the conversation, we were talking about whether or not we're going to do it. And you were like, no, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. So that you were going back and forth about whether or not you have the time or want to do it is a very interesting conversation to fill the space while you're in the middle of the unknown, including bringing out of from nothing, creating the beginning synopsis for your book, which, by the way, will change as you go along. But you didn't recognize that you told us in no uncertain terms. You said you didn't ask about it. You announced to us that you were going to do it. You don't recall that, but I recall it. It was like case closed.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're going to entitle the first chapter, you can either have a drama on your left or sit in the unknown.
But you see, the upset of not knowing what to do, the decision-making process, is a way of you avoiding the experience of not knowing. So you create all kinds of drama rather than just go, I don't know what to say right yet. You know, I do many projects around our home and our property.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I don't do them all at once. I have the idea, I have to replace the electric fence about the bird feeder because the bears will come and knock off the bird, break the bird feeder.
And then he has to prepare to save the bird feeder from the squirrels. So he's been doing, it's beautiful now, by the way. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, but it wasn't that I had to figure out how to do it. Then I went to the supply store and I got supplies, and it all happened organically.
Mm-hmm.
And writing will happen organically when you engage in it. But there are times where you don't feel like engaging it, so don't.
Yes.
See,
mm-hmm.
have fun with it. And if you're not having fun with it, it's not going to come out great if you have to force it. It's like sex. See, this is perfect for you. It's like sex.
But Shia, perhaps you
don't want to talk about sex. I know that because it's an embarrassing subject. I got it. But it really is about like sex in that you don't rush into sex if you want to have a fabulous orgasm, do you?
No, I think that's
force it upon each other, do you?
Yeah.
You're forcing this book project upon yourself as though it matters. It doesn't matter, Elke. You can have fun with this thing. If you're not having fun with sex, sex is two bodies bouncing against each other.
What were you gonna...
Therefore, because I would like that people like their sex life, I would like to write the book. I think what you described is perhaps I made it a little more dramatic than it was. I had periods where several ideas came to my mind, how to write special parts, how to even pictures, how to create it as a book, and I felt really excited about it. And then I thought, what will I have enough time? Will I have enough time for Dieter, for my husband? will have enough time for the rest of my life when I.
But that's an awful lot of thought, Elka. That's thinking about an awful lot of things rather than doing what you want to do. See, you can either leap into life, or you can think about life.
Yeah.
Thinking of, life takes place in the current moment. Like right now, this moment that I'm talking with you is where my life exists, and it's where your life exists. This moment, nothing else other than the moment is where our life exists. Now, we can waste a lot of time thinking about whether we should or shouldn't do something off in the future.
Or whether we have the time to do something.
And we can spend a lot of time doing that. Or we can be here for our life in this moment. And if that includes writing a book, fabulous. But, you put yourself under a great deal of pressure rather than have it be a joyous experience. Let's go back to sex, because I like sex. And I'm 83 and I like sex.
So he's part of our category here.
I'm in this book, and I, worrying about how it's going to turn out. How good? What would you say to a client who says, "Well, I'm worrying I have a premature orgasm, or I'm worrying that I won't be able to get an erection,
or I'm worried I'm not sure they will like it."
What I would say?
Yeah, what would you say?
Take your time. Have fun. Make pleasure your center, and not worrying about erection. And
you can do that in your writing.
Well, there's something that's happening. First of all, I know you guys are overlapping each other, which is kind of fun in and of itself. But it occurs to me, Alka, that everything you're going through with this writing project is what somebody who's not fluid in their sexuality will be going through in approaching their sexuality. So here you are. You're like, I'm worried I'll have time, in this case for Dieter, your husband. They're worried that if they invest in sexuality, will they have time for their other projects? Everything that you're experiencing is absolutely perfect for this book.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Other thing that I find very interesting is you're much more willing to hear what Ariel has to say than what Shia has to say.
You.
That's right. I mean, if we're talking about sex, it's between a man and a woman. I mean, it can be between a man and a man, or a woman and a woman,
or between you and yourself.
Right.
I feel you are joking with me, or on. That's you.
What?
Yes, he might be joking with you, but it's an easy way to make a very important point, is to have humor in it. That then it doesn't go in a way that is, most of us, when we're insecure about something, we're kind of shaking our finger at ourselves, we're chastising ourselves. And when he's having fun or making light of the whole situation, it's a invitation not to take oneself so seriously.
See, look, you can't, Elka. Are you looking at me or her?
He's looking. It's hard to tell because
I know.
I'm looking. Now I'm looking at you, Shia, in the moment.
You should be looking at me because I'm speaking to you.
Yes.
Look, sex is an amazing experience if you're there for it. But if you're worrying about the outcome, you're not there for it.
Yes.
Writing this book could be an amazing experience for you if you're here for it when you're doing it. But worrying about the outcome.
Like, will anybody like it? Will be a good book? Will the publisher want it?
It's going to ruin the experience. See, sex is an experience. It isn't to think about.
Yeah.
You know that.
That's why some of the things have been coming to you like fully formed, like inspirations. You've taken a moment to write them down, or like this picture would be good. I'm excited for you. I'm also excited for the people. You have so much expertise.
You have so much to offer.
Yeah.
And what you have to
Yes.
offer, my dear, is fun.
Pardon me?
Fun. Fun.
Fun to us.
That's what you have to offer. About getting there. It's about being here in the experience of your life. See, what you have to offer is amazing because you have the expertise.
First, I want to personally thank you. I had no idea that today's recording, which we are releasing, and so a little bit in the future,
Yes.
was with you. It was not correctly in my calendar, so I wasn't. But clearly, we were connected. And yesterday, I was working on a project, and I got stuck. It was like 95% done. I got stuck. And Shai's like, "Will you leave it alone? You can use this to avoid intimacy, or let's basically go be." And I'm like, let's do that. I let go of everything. I'm 66, Shai is 83, so we're in your demographic.
Yes.
We had to keep stopping ourselves from saying that was the best sex we've ever had, because that's comparative. But I have to say it was splendid. We weren't thinking about time. I wasn't thinking about my projects. We weren't thinking about when it's going to be done. It was just this glorious expression of being with each other. And I have to say, when I got back to my projects today, the solutions were easy. And I have a feeling if you ever get stuck on any part of your book, just go hang out with Dieter for a while and you'll probably have your answers.
Thank you. Yes, wonderful. Wonderful what you told, and wonderful what you told me. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome, sweetheart.
And, there's nothing. I want to go back to the first book we ever wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to define instantaneous transformation. We experienced it. We know what it was from our experience, but how to articulate it. And I remember we were in Costa Rica. And it was our very first location. We were at Pueblo Real. And we would lead the course and then would come at lunch and we would work on this paragraph. And I recall like coming up with a sentence and then throwing ourselves backwards on the bed, laying back like, oh man, this is so difficult. And coming up. Now, first of all, it's never been dramatic like that since. I think some part of me thought it had to be difficult in order to have merit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little bit like giving birth. And it wasn't that long ago. I went back and looked at that paragraph. And we didn't quit until it expressed what we wanted to express. And that paragraph is still pristine and stellar and expresses to the best you can do in the written word
Mm-hmm.
about transformation and how it happens in the experience of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay if it takes a little bit for you to be able to express it in a way that you're happy with. It wasn't about will they be happy. It was that when we read it, we went,
yeah, wonderful, amazing.
yes, you are.
You are. Both those things are true. You are.
I'm excited for you.
And when I say sweetheart to you, you have a sweet heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's my experience of you. So you can
Thank you. Yeah.
relax.
And one other thing, Elka, you have a lot of people in your corner, not just Dieter. I know he's your go-to guy, and as he should be. But if you ever get stuck, text me, WhatsApp me, any of your friends. Just people, even if you're not stuck, if you wrote a paragraph that you're excited about and you just want to share, hey, I've had a really good writing day, you don't have to do it all alone. Somehow sharing it with people, I don't know, just gets easier and richer. And then at the end of the day, everybody wins.
Yes, that's a good idea, a good hint. Yes.
Well,
thank you.
Lovely seeing you today.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Now it's your turn. Let's hear what one of you listeners has to say about being here in the transformation community.
Hey, I'm Dave in Oxford, England. I've been attending Live Meet Easy seminars and several of the weekend seminars with Errol and Shia for some years, and my life has become rich and beautiful in ways that I couldn't have imagined.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Errol and Shia's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Are you ready to leap? Let's do this thing. We have Living Made Easy seminars. They happen regularly. We have them on Mondays, Saturdays, at least one Tuesday a month. Come join us. Leap into the possibility of transformation with this incredibly vibrant community you are a part of.
You know, you don't have to have anything wrong with you to transform. Transformation is a shift in your experience of living. It's not about doing your life right. It's about being here for your life in a way that has not been available to most people ever. See, we learn how to go about our lives from the people we grew up around. God bless them, they didn't know that there was a thing called transformation, where you could, in an instant, shift from being upset to being alive, well, and full of life. They didn't know that was a possibility. In fact, in the realm of change, it is not a possibility. But we don't anymore live in the realm of change, which takes place over time and is linear, and one thing follows the next. You can make an incredible leap in your ability to experience in an instant.
I have to warn you, please do not come. Don't attend any of our seminars if you are unwilling to experience the possibility that you have been absolutely underestimating your brilliance.
I love that.
Well, that's what people discover.
We've all been underestimating our brilliance. You know, we think we're normal, and normal people are brilliant. They just don't know it.
You know, we have 2 upcoming virtual weekend seminars.
Yeah, one is called Relax into Life.
It's December 7th and 8th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. And we purposefully put this one in December because it occurred to us as the end of the year comes, as the holidays, planning, travel, gifts, celebrations, family, loss of family, all of those things, end of the year projects, they seem to really loom large for people. I mean, you could see with Elka how things that matter to us start pressing on us. So it's an opportunity to discover how to be here and relax at the same time.
And on January 4th and 5th, we're doing Leap into Life. They seem paradoxical. You know that one is relaxed and the other is leap.
So how can both happen at the same time?
Well, they can't both happen at the same time.
You know that
you can leap and be relaxed in your leaping.
Absolutely. You know, that picture that we have
of a dog jumping.
It's relaxed in the air. Same with the fellow who was a surfer in Hawaii. as he was jumping into the water, there was a level of relaxation. You can have both. And so we're doing both. Also, because at the beginning of the year, I often feel like the whole zeitgeist, the whole world is like jumping into the new thing. So
That's right. As if the new thing is going to be better than the old thing. And, 1 year goes into the next year and they're the same thing.
And one moment goes into the next moment. And this moment, by the way, aside from inviting you all, you can register for anything we're up to at transformationmadeeasy.com, and you are invited. Go for it. We are now moving into the next moment. We're inviting Teresa.
Well, one last thing.
What?
There is Costa Rica also. If you come to either one of those weekend virtual seminars, you'll be eligible to fulfill the prerequisite for our Costa Rican adventure in 2025.
Actually, we do have somebody who's recognized they want to come to Costa Rica with us. They've actually signed up for Costa Rica, and then they registered for Relax into Life to fulfill the prerequisite.
That's great.
So it's fine. You can do it either way you want. So
in any event, you can come for 1 or 2 weeks. And by the way, you're worth it.
Yeah, that's true. Shall we take?
Okay, let's take Teresa now.
Let's take the newlywed.
There.
Hi, this is Teresa in New York City.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ariel and Shaya. This is, I'm enjoying being with you. I was on prior when Elka was speaking, and I'm just having so much fun.
That's great.
That's great.
So I don't know if I have a question about leaping into life, but I love the topic. And I think it also had to do with when I first thought about leaping, I feel like I used to leap into my agendas. Well, it's funny you mentioned that at the beginning, Ariel, that whereas now being part of this community, I'm just, there's more of I don't know, just being in the moment with things, and it's not overriding. I think I used to just tumble. Well, I don't even know if the word's tumble. I feel like I just barricaded through things, and that was my form of leaping.
Well, you said you don't know what you have to ask, but I know something you have to offer. I think there are a lot of people who are in relationships and they're hoping someday it'll end in marriage. And I know that you and Marty recently got married, and I was so moved by how you did everything you could to have the wedding day be what you hoped for it. And you came to a Living Made Easy and shared with all of us very touching details of the wedding itself. But I know you talked about how your wedding night did not fit your agenda. And yet, as you were speaking, you were both glowing, and it wasn't like it was ruined. Do you want to share with people anything about that?
Sure. Just to clarify, it was the night after the wedding night. We had people coming over for brunch after the wedding. So after the actual wedding night, we did not consecrate our wedding vows, or we just went to sleep because we had people joining us at about 8 a.m. in the morning. So the second night, or the afternoon, everyone had left at about 2 o'clock, and we were thinking, we're going to have this beautiful afternoon and obviously get romantic, until Marty, my husband, wound up with vertigo. And then there's some things you can do on the internet. There's 2 or 3 different things that supposedly help the crystals in vertigo, or the type of vertigo he has is the crystals will loosen his inner ear. So he didn't have any balance. And in trying to put the crystals back, he got much worse, and he started throwing up. And we were crazy as it sounds. I mean, Marty was not having fun throwing up. He wasn't having, but we were just with each other he was allowing me to take care of him. And it didn't, I don't know, it wasn't like we had an expectation that we had to do anything but what we were doing. And it was easy to love on him and easy to hold him. And then eventually he did go to sleep for about 6 hours, which was good for him. And I had a house that was pretty much in chaos. And I just attended to things slowly because I was tired, and I napped a little. And, and when he got up, I gave him a little soup. And I don't know if my life, I know I would say my life is not what it used to be prior to being part of this community. My life is so much easier and sweeter.
Well, let's stop here because you see, I don't agree with you.
Okay.
My experience of you is you are sweet, and you've always been sweet. But you had stuff between you and being vulnerable
And experiencing your sweetness.
and experiencing your sweetness. You were insecure like all of us are. See, to acknowledge your insecurity doesn't make you insecure. It actually makes you secure, knowing that you have insecurities. It's
Yes.
not a thing. You're not a bad person because you don't fit your ideals. You were given a set of ideals that you try to live up to. See, so that you've discovered how magnificent you are. We've seen your magnificence all along, both you and Marty, from the first day I met him and you. But you didn't see it because you have a story that finds fault with you, that thinks that you're less than you are, that you should be more. You can't be more than you are. But if you're being who you are, that's magnificent.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The other thing is, and I'm assuming this, I'm going to talk to you for a minute, but I also want to talk to our listeners at large. I think if people listen to being here, and you've listened, many of our listeners listen frequently, or they've heard a lot of episodes, and I find that transformation happens so organically. In your reality is yours, so when you're in the midst of sitting in it, it's hard to recognize what all has happened. But I can't tell you how many Judge Judy's we watched where a bride will come in and say, my marriage is ruined.
My wedding was ruined.
My wedding was ruined. My DJ didn't play my favorite song, or my dress didn't have this on it, or the makeup was done incorrectly, or I can't believe she didn't show up to do my hair. Like, it ruined my wedding. And that all aspects of your wedding, including that you're like, hey, we're gonna sleep now, rather than force ourselves to be physically intimate because that's what you do on your wedding night. And then when you had plans for it, it didn't show up the way you wanted, and you're glowing. It's not like anything ruined anything. This is Teresa's life.
Yes. And I really like my life.
Yes. Well, I have a friend. His name is Tom Derry, and he says, enjoy your life. No one else will. There's a pitch for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Marty and I have been together 8 years, and we've been living together since COVID. And I have found a few people have said to me, well, doesn't it feel the same? And my answer is no, it doesn't feel the same. And it just doesn't. I mean, moments and days are not the same.
Well, I've been living with Ariel for 42 years. We've been married for 40. And every day is a new experience. It's never the same.
I still recall, even back, the youthful, unformed me on our wedding night and the days after. There was a distinct difference. It had to do with me saying to the world, this is my choice.
You took ownership.
I took ownership. There's a funny thing. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Groundhog Day, but in Groundhog Day, you have Annie MacDowell playing one character and Bill Murray playing the other lead character. And there are lots of other talented people in it, but he gets stuck. And every morning he wakes up and it's the same day, the same day, the same day, until he gets it right, until he fully invests in his life like it is. And there's a line in it where Annie MacDowell says, because she bids on him at an auction, which is kind of fun, and she's like, I bought you. I own you. And sometimes I say that to Shia, I bought you. I own you. You're mine. It became really clear to me that this person I declared as mine.
Yeah. I don't think I've thought of Marty that way, but we've just been having fun being honest with each other. And so even in our little upsets or my upset or whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I can tell him, which I've never experienced before. Except, again, I feel like you have given me a possibility, a new possibility. And in the moment I get to tell him how I'm feeling, whatever, if it's good or what I guess society or my thoughts think isn't good, or there's something in just telling him that lets it be. I don't have to live on top of it or pretend it's not there. These array of either emotions or preferences, and he just hears me, and it almost it just lessens an upset that would on top of an upset, if that makes sense, or just it just lets my feelings be with him and be with me.
Well, look, the third principle of instantaneous transformation is anything that you allow to be exactly as it is completes itself. And first principle is anything you resist and don't let be as it is sticks around. So that's the answer to everything, really. If you allow it to be, it completes itself. The more you resist something, the worse it gets. And most people's marriages go that way, you see. That's why more than 50% of marriages in the States end in divorce, because they disagree, and that disagreement expands.
But also you're describing a phenomena that you're finding in yourself. And I just want to underline it a little bit for the people who are listening. When you found yourself not expressing what you're feeling, what you're going on, or your concerns with Marty, back then you were prejudging yourself. Anything you judge stays in place. And somehow you've unlocked a freedom to see something and hold it out without judgment.
To be yourself. You've given yourself the freedom to be okay being you exactly the way you are and exactly the way you're not.
And sometimes what you're holding out without judgment is your judgments, meaning like, man,
do you believe I thought that?
Or I suddenly think I'm fat, or I feel insecure, or like where you're talking about your perceptions in a non-judgmental way.
Yeah, yes, and it's fun. It's freeing. It's really nice.
Here's the thing. It's fun and it's freeing when it's not designed to manipulate the circumstances to get somewhere.
Okay.
Like, as you said earlier, you used to do things or say things or be ways in order to advance your agenda. And so what you could actually be apparently doing the same thing or as you are now, but if it's agenda advancing, it's a manipulation. And you definitely, when that happens again, because it's likely to happen, it happens to all of us from time to time, you'll
You
experience
know, I have
the
a
difference.
preference. I have a preference, and the lights are always green.
I have the same preference.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Congratulations again. Thank you for being here. We're very happy for you, but it's just lovely that you can, share your perspective. And I also love that people ask you, isn't it just the same? And you're willing to look and see and share your perspective. That's really awesome.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for letting me be here. This is really, really nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
I'll bet you a lot of you have friends who are looking at sexuality, relationships, starting projects. There's all sorts of things. Share this podcast with them. I'll bet you discovered some new things for yourself. I certainly did, and I'm part of it. So you can share this with your friends. You can subscribe on your regular streaming platform if you haven't done that already. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter. We have videos, blogs, inspirational things to share with folks. And again, you can find all our courses and you can register for them at transformation.com. I like that. Made easy.
It's easy. Next week's podcast.
It's funny. Working on yourself doesn't work. That's our first book. Change versus transformation. Maybe by next week I'll find that chapter and that paragraph, and we'll find it for you. So come on back
and don't miss being here.